the shluchim of Chabad Lubavitch. They're everywhere. You can try to run, but you can't hide.
Welcome. Thanks for joining me for this live presentation on a subject that you might not know much about and might be a lot more important than you would have ever thought on the world stage. So we're going to tell you about something called Chabad Lubavitch, which the title says is a Jewish supremacist doomsday cult behind the New World Order. That's a big claim to make. So we have to go through a lot of information to try to justify those claims. And I think we can kind of do it. So we're going to show you some connections between this small little sect of Judaism and some very powerful people in our world, like the people around Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin.
Ye took up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god Remphan, figures which ye made to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon. And the star of your god Remphan,
and the star of your god Remphan, and the star of your god Remphan.
But ye have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch, and Chayun your images, the star of your god which ye made to yourselves, and Chayun your images, the star of your god,
and Chayun your images, the star of your god, and Chayun your images, the star of your god.
I was born in 1926 in Hamburg, Germany, and I lived there till the year 1937, and we left Germany because we were Jews and we were persecuted. From there we left to Holland, and from Holland we came to the United States, where I joined the Lubavitch Yeshiva in 1941, and I became one of his Hasidim. When I joined the Lubavitch Hasidim, I found a way of living the happiness and the joy how a Jew lives, and which pulled me towards this way of Judaism. When a Jew gets up in the morning, one of the first things he does is to say his morning prayer. Every morning except Saturday and holidays, he first puts on tefillin. Tefillin consists of 2 specially prepared leather boxes containing certain biblical scriptures. One of these is bound on the upper arm, opposite the heart. The other is placed on the head. This very important observance signifies the submission of the heart and mind to God.
Throwing it back.
Well, they thought it was a curse. Would you like me to show them how the sign of the curse works?
So don't blame it on the story. Go on with it.
All right.
So that's the sign of the horn, and then what happens? Is that it?
Hasidus teaches you how to live as a Jew in every direction, in every way a person is supposed to live. Hasidus tells you the deeper things of life. Hasidus tells you the emotional and spiritual way of how to live as a Jew, as an Orthodox Jew.
If you live in a Hasidic atmosphere and you're around these people, you can't forget. Even if you don't look in the book, you can't go off. You go to synagogue. You're with ultra-religious, ultra-Orthodox people. You live with the people. As you see around my father's house, it's all religious children. Every boy wearing a yarmulke. Every boy and girl going to yeshiva. And if you live in a non-Hasidic atmosphere, you can forget. You can slip off. And I feel I'd raise my children the same way I was raised.
The ethical teachings of the Lubavitch Rebbe have as much relevance today as they ever have. The values upon which the movement is based, wisdom and reverence, are not just desirable, they're necessary for the very survival of civilization. Now we shall proclaim this day Education Day.
I'm showing you all this reverence to the Rebbe Schneerson, because I'm going to tell you some things he said that aren't really brought up on his Wikipedia page or in the articles that you mostly read about this happy-go-lucky Jewish group with very few members, maybe in the low 6 digits, maybe in the 5 digits, maybe 200,000 people worldwide max. You're starting to see that they seem to have some kind of outsized influence. Here is President Obama with some members of Chabad at Newtown after the Sandy Hook shootings, which you could think of in a lot of different, that might give you a lot of different ideas. This is how Chabad is tied into the Mueller investigation. A Chabad house in Long Island becomes fulcrum in Mueller probe. Individuals associated with the Chabad Port of Washington allegedly facilitated contact between loyalists of the Ukrainian president and U.S. President Donald Trump's personal lawyer. This is all out because of the Michael Cohen investigation. Turns out that Chabad was working with Michael Cohen to get information from the Ukrainian president to President Donald Trump. This is where this this Russian collusion thing isn't so crazy. It's just the Russian, it's a specific kind of Russian that he's colluding with. And it wasn't to rig the election. So, but the story's weird. I've been looking at this for a couple of weeks now, and there are a lot of connections. So I'm just showing you how interrelated this is. Now, I told you in the title, and I told you I was going to explain to you, that this is a Jewish supremacist doomsday cult. As far as the doomsday part, you saw my introduction where that was the Rabbi Schneerson saying, "Do you want Mashiach now?" And they respond, "We want Mashiach now." Around 1980, this Rabbi Schneerson started telling his followers that we want to bring out the Messianic age. We want to hasten the return of the Messiah. This is to justify the title. I said a doomsday cult. Well, they're looking to bring on the Messianic age, the end of days. This is a meeting with the young Bibi Netanyahu in 1990. You can see the influence they might have in Israeli politics.
מה שישראל לאחרונה ניתצו כמה עניינים. מה שרואה עוד, וגם מצב שעדיין משיח ליבו. אז הייתה משהו במה ידיעתו. הכנראה שהיא מספיק, כאילו שהיום כבר כמה שעות בגין ועדיין ליבו. אבל יש עוד כמה שעות, אבל יש להשתדל גם היום.
Looking to bring on, hasten the coming of the Messiah.
At one time, the Lucis Trust was located at 666 United Nations Plaza and was formerly named Lucifer Publishing Company. The Rockefeller-funded UN Meditation Room is 33 feet long and 18 feet wide. 18 feet is 6 plus 6 plus 6. The small, dimly lit, windowless room was built in the shape of a pyramid that is laying on its side. At the center of the room is a 4-foot-high, black, casket-shaped stone slab which weighs 6.5 tons and is extremely magnetic and rests on a concrete pillar. The pillar descends beneath the floor into the bedrock and taps into the Earth's hyperdimensional energies to induce a state of altered consciousness. Not far from the meditation room is the United Nations Security Council chamber. This is the emergency room of the UN, where the world leaders meet when there is a threat to peace. They decide the fate of nations.